guys, and welcome back to the CFC Chat YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be previewing the all-important top 4 clash against West Ham at the London Stadium. And to help me preview this match is Ishan. He was on last time for the West Brom preview. That didn't go according to plan, so hopefully we get a better game this time around. But Ishan, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully we don't get clapped five. Was it? Yeah, it was. That game was just horrible, and hopefully this time it's 5-2 for us.
Yeah, fingers crossed. The away team due to that's the thing. You've got the away kid going on as well, so definitely. But anyway, this week, I think for football fans, it's been a really emotional roller coaster, hasn't it? And with all the ESL drama that's gone on, and well, underneath all of that drama, we weren't sure if the top 4 would matter at all for next season, but I think now it does, and we did disappoint with a 0-0 draw at home against Brighton, which put us into the top 4, but we're ahead of West Ham only on goal difference, and Leicester are 4 points clear. So how do you see this race panning out? Because I think Spurs made a late entry into the race as well with their win, and Liverpool dropped points at least, but they're not too far off as well. So do you see it being a nail-biting finish until the end of the season?
Yeah, for sure. I think Leicester may have secured their spot with their win, but obviously there's still games to go. But Leicester's fixtures are looking pretty favorable. I think it's going to be between Chelsea, West Ham, and Liverpool for the 4th spot, and hopefully we can take a massive step towards the top 4 by beating West Ham and kind of like crushing their hopes. Yeah, it is a London derby more than any top 4 battle. This is a London derby, and the players have to treat it like that.
Yeah, exactly. They have to treat it like that. And just quickly deviating from the men's team, just quickly wanted to mention the women's team. Both of us do follow the women's team game as well, and they played a thrilling 2-2 draw with our goalkeeper making a title-saving save. In fact, I think that's what everyone's calling it. But I think a win and a draw is it that probably secures the titles in the remaining 2 games for us.
Yeah, so a win and a draw should. We're leading on goal difference by 5, and I don't think our women's team is capable of letting that kind of lead go away. They're just too strong, and it was a massive result that has huge ramifications in the title race, as you already mentioned. And that the game on itself, I feel City were the better team, but the result is all that matters. One thing that does worry me with Bayern Munich in mind with the massive game on Sunday is the fitness of our captain Magda Eriksson. And I hope she's back, because without her, we really looked a little not clueless, but we looked a little light at the back. Yeah, and without those saves from Berger, we wouldn't have we wouldn't be in the title race. That would be over and done with. I hope Eriksson is back, and I hope we win in the Champions League on Sunday as well.
Absolutely. And with of course Olympique Lyon being kicked out by PSG as well in the Champions League, huge boost for Chelsea, isn't it? And hopefully we can do it. Hopefully the men's and the women's team both go on to win the Champions League. Fingers crossed. Hopefully no jinx is there. But anyway, moving back into the men's team, and of course we're facing West Ham, who have been sort of the dark horses of the season. I mean, they had a solid side and they had a pretty decent manager in David Moyes, but I think that no one expected them to be this high up the table. So what do you think are what has contributed to them being in the top 4 race? Because it's been a while since I've said this, and I think I've probably never even said this ever since I started making content, West Ham being in the race for a European spot. So what do you make of their run, and who would you credit most of this to?
Yeah, I think it's a very incredible run. At the beginning of the season, I think they were one of the favorites to be relegated. I certainly thought they were going to get relegated. But I think it's when you give credit to them, I think you have to give credit to the whole team. I don't think there's one person. But I think all the talk throughout the summer about maybe them getting relegated and things like that in the coming season, that I think brought the team together. And with their additions of Souček and Kufal and Lingard in January, They've been very smart in terms of their signings. They haven't like signed any big name players. They've just their recruitment has been very, very good. So credit to them for that. And yeah, I think that just that team bond that they have, especially with Declan Rice as captain. Like I'm such a big fan of Declan Rice, and I think off the field he's just as important as on the field. Like he's such a good captain, and he glues that whole team together in terms of the squad harmony and things like that. So yeah, they've been fantastic, and I don't think anyone predicted they would be here for this long. That too, like it's not just been that they've been winning every 2 games or things. They're winning like almost every week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely going to be a very hard game.
Yep, exactly. They're not going to make it easy for us whatsoever. And of course, we will discuss this later, but I think Dawson is missing out through through suspension. Sorry, my bad. He was sent off in their defeat against Newcastle United, and he's going to be a big miss for them. I think Aaron Cresswell's expected to miss with injury, and Declan Rice is expected to miss with injury as well. So 3 very big names for them, especially while defending. So how do you think that that's going to impact West Ham? And quickly before that, if we can also talk about their style of play. I think it's mainly counter-attacking football, but give us your 2 cents on their style of play and how much they're going to miss these 3 players.
Yeah, another player they're going to miss is Antonio, who's very important to their counter-attacking kind of style of play, because with his pace, his strength, like he's such a good player, and I'm such a big fan of him. If only he had better hamstrings, I guess he would be a top player. But yeah, without Declan Rice, without Cresswell, over the last few weeks, especially with Bowen and Lingard up top, they have been favoring the counter-attacking approach a lot more. And without Declan Rice, especially in their last 4 games, they've conceded 10 goals. So their defense hasn't been great. And now with Dawson also missing, and possibly even Masuaku, that could be a big boost for Chelsea. But at the same time, it may not, because we do struggle against teams that sit back and play on the counter, as we did see against Brighton, like teams that man mark or press us whenever we get the ball in attacking areas. So that could be a tricky situation, but hopefully their defense is just not the same without the key players that have been so integral to their top 4 run.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be a huge boost for us, as you mentioned. And especially it takes me back to the West Ham United versus Leicester game. I think that most of us had Leicester to win that game, but then West Ham, I think they were 3-0 up and the game ended 3-2. But I was like, what's going on? And they scored with such ease, So I think that Lingard Bowen link up is really going to be a big issue for us. But I think, how do we counter it? And let's get into that with the team news. So we are going to be predicting the team that we think Tuchel is going to put out, and not the team that we want to put out, because of course there would be a certain Tammy Abraham who both of us would have included if not for if not for us predicting what Tuchel is going to do and not we want Tuchel to do. So how do you see this lineup panning out? Do you think that Mendy will get back in goal, or Kepa will be rewarded with his clean sheet midweek?
Just before we get into the lineup, another thing on Lingard, like he's been outperforming his XG by quite a bit. He's got, I think, 8 goals and his XG is like 3.5. So a lot of those goals, like the 3-3 against Arsenal, the 3-2 against Leicester, like he was just shooting and things were going in. And hopefully that doesn't happen against us, especially us playing with the back 3 and having more bodies around the box. Hopefully we can counter that, and the XG king doesn't come to haunt us. Going into the Chelsea's lineup, I do expect Mendy to replace Kepa. Even though Kepa has been really good, he hasn't had too much to do, but he's done everything that you can ask from a goalkeeper, which is keep a clean sheet. So good for him, and hopefully maybe he might play the FA Cup final, who knows. Hopefully he doesn't play against Real Madrid, because I really want Mendy back, and I really think Mendy would play against West Ham, because one thing that West Ham are really, really good at is their set pieces. They score a lot of goals from set pieces. Even with Dawson missing, they have so many threats. Souček, is one, especially with the delivery of Bowen and Lingard as well. They're such big threats from set pieces. You know, Ogbonna will probably play. And yeah, they've scored a lot of goals from set pieces, and Mendy's very good with his high claims, and that's definitely not Kepa's strong suit. That's probably his weakest point. So yeah, Mendy definitely in goal. And yeah, speaking about the crosses that West Ham put in and their set piece strength and their aerial strength, I would want Zuma to start in this game. So I think Aspie comes back after being rested. He got a very well-deserved rest. So my back three would be Aspie, Zuma, and Rudiger. But Rudiger has played the last 5 games for Chelsea, and we've been playing every 3 or 4 days. So maybe he could be rested ahead of Real Madrid, and Christensen could play, or even Thiago Silva. But I really would hope that Thiago Silva is rested until Real Madrid, because we saw him something with his back against Man City, and even the game before Man City, I forget, I think it was Porto or West. No,
yeah, it was Porto. Yeah,
and he had some kind of niggles there as well, where yeah, he just didn't look 100%. And anytime Thiago Silva goes down, I'm just so scared because I don't want another injury. Yeah, exactly. So hopefully he gets another rest. But it is a massive game, as we've both already said. So I could totally see us just going with our strongest lineup for this game and Real Madrid. So yeah, Aspie, Zuma, and Rudiger for me at the back three. For me, the right wing back, Reece James, has played pretty often. I did expect Callum Hudson-Odoi to start against Brighton, just because we didn't really need Reece James's defensive attributes. We needed someone more attacking, and I thought Reece James would be rested against Brighton and start against West Ham. But now that he started against Brighton, I'm like, okay, Callum Hudson-Odoi should probably start against West Ham. Yeah, so him at right wing back, and Ben Chilwell comes back for Marcos Alonso at left wing back, who was pretty anonymous in the Brighton game.
The lesser we say about him, the better.
Exactly, yes. That's how I like to keep my conversations about Marcos Alonso. And yeah, in central midfield, we have really no option since Tuchel has not integrated Billy Gilmore at all, which I think he's now regretting, because it's hard to even give him time off the bench, because you're throwing him into a massive game rather than integrating him over a series of games. We tried with Mason Mount against Brighton in that double 6 role or whatever, and that didn't really work out. Even though we have seen Mount play there, he just didn't look his best. He kind of, for the first time, like, the game kind of passed him by, and I've never seen that from Mount at Chelsea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it would be Jorginho and N'Golo Kante again. And with the top 3 would be Mount, Kai, and Pulisic for me, just because I don't want to take any chances. This is a very important game for our Champions League hopes. Even though we're going to win the Champions League, as everyone already knows, you know, stars are aligning. 2012, 2021, we're going to win it, but I would also want to be in the top 4. So yeah, those are my plans, and I really want to know yours.
Yeah, I think you actually nailed the lineup pretty much for me. I think Mendy does come back in the goal. I don't think Kepa is gonna play another match, except for maybe the FA Cup final. The back 3, I think Azpilicueta has to come back, especially in the Brighton game. You could see how much we missed his, driving runs forward. And so many of the times he doesn't make an accurate cross, or he doesn't, switch that pass when there's space, but then just an extra body in space there to pass the ball to. And Christensen did have a great game there, but he wasn't as good as Azpilicueta driving forward. And I think this takes me back to the Antonio Conte days, when we used to play Victor Moses as right wing back and Azpilicueta as right centre back, and Azpilicueta used to sometimes overlap or even underlap Victor Moses to provide an extra body. So I think we really missed that against Brighton, so I think he has to come back for this one. And I think Zuma is a really good point from you, but I would not want Zuma to play on the left. I don't know, for some reason he just doesn't work on the left. So if he plays through the middle, Christensen misses out. So it's a really big dilemma for me. But I'd probably go Zuma, Rudiger. I think probably rest Christensen for Real Madrid or something. I don't know. If Thiago Silva is not entirely fit, then Christensen can slot in the middle in that game.
Thomas Tuchel did say that Christensen can play on either side of the back three. So I really wouldn't be surprised if he played left center back. He's very comfortable on the ball, as we've seen many times. We've never seen him play at left center back, but if Tuchel says he could play it, I would trust him to play it. But yeah, I still think it would be Zuma Rudiger or Rudiger at LCB.
Yeah, exactly. I think you mentioned it right. I don't think we've seen him play on the right and in the middle, but on the left, but I don't know. Let's see what Tuchel's got in mind. It's very hard to predict what this guy's got in mind, hasn't it? It was much easier on the lap part.
Who would have thought that he would just rotate the goalkeeper? I had Mendy in my fantasy team and I was like, bro, missed out on the clean sheet.
Same, man. Same. Even I had Mendy in. It was disappointing, man. The only reason I'm keeping him through these tough fixtures is because I think I've got a plan to get Meslier later on, but I don't know. I would have hoped that he would have, especially after losing the clean sheet against West Brom, and against Crystal Palace. I was really hoping to get a clean sheet out of him, but the game's the game. Anyway, I think right wing back is going to be Hudson-Odoi. I think Reece James 100% has to start the Real Madrid game, so I would definitely put Hudson-Odoi on the right. On the left, Chilwell. The less said about Alonso, the better, like we mentioned earlier. And then in the midfield picks itself, really, I think Jorginho and Kante. Hopefully, though, we do get a decent game out of both of them, but hopefully there's no injuries for them for the Real Madrid game, because N'Golo Kante is going to be so massive in the game against Real Madrid, especially with their midfield. So hopefully it does work out for him. And then up front, the front three picks itself, really. I think Mount on the left, Pulisic on the right, and Havertz through the middle, I think, as a centre forward, or probably Pulisic, Mount could shift positions like they did against Crystal Palace, and that was probably our best attacking performance, which we've seen for a long time. So hopefully our front three click. I think that's the main thing. And where do you see the key battles going? And then give us your score prediction as well.
Yeah, I think the key would be who plays as center forward. I wouldn't be surprised if even maybe Oli Giroud might play, just because West Brom. I'm getting nightmares again, West Ham could be defending really deep, and they have very physical center backs, and they are a very physical team in general. So I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Giroud start and Kai maybe rested again. But yeah, the key battle for me would be at center forward. How Kai links the play with Mason and Pulisic, or maybe even if Hakim Ziyech starts, which I wouldn't be too surprised if that happened as well. Keeping the Madrid game in mind, and even he's so decisive with his passing, and he has the ability to play that key pass, which could unlock West Ham's defense. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ziyech started. But yeah, I think that the key position from an offensive point of view would be the center forward / false nine kind of position that Havertz will occupy. And yeah, we've seen Kai get into some very good positions, but not always be able to finish off his chances. But hopefully he can do that, and it will be key because we don't create a lot of chances every game. So our ability to be clinical will be very key in this game. And yeah, I guess the key battle for Chelsea would be for up top especially would be Havertz, and going from a defensive point of view, I think it would be on the counter. Jorginho started the last 6 games for Chelsea. I don't know how much he has left in the tank, especially against the counter. We've seen referees outrun him. That's definitely not his strong suit. So yeah, that could be a little liability, especially in the form that Lingard is in, and he kind of occupies those pockets of space that Jorginho is capable of leaving behind for him. So those are, I feel, the key battles. In terms of score predictions, I'm predicting a boring 1-0 win for Chelsea.
We'll take it, man. A clean sheet and 3 points. Count me in.
It's a 6-pointer. We got to be pumped for it. We got to be ready. And yeah, those are my last thoughts.
Yeah, until next time, guys, remember to like, subscribe, the usual, comment your thoughts down below, help us grow, and we will see you next for the live stream or the review of the West Ham game. But until then, see you guys.